Okay, so shitty camera angle, and it's been a while since I posted to this channel, and I'm going to start posting here because I'm starting to gain a decent following on Threads, mainly due to my artwork, and I guess also just the fact that I'm pretty much weird. Come on up, Bo. So I'm going to start posting here. For all my videos will be here now, so, if you guys want to just pop on by and watch them, cool. Today I saw just something so cringy and dystopian. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of it, because I guess for some reason the fact that, I state that I'm single automatically just gets me ads for dating apps. And there's a lot of cringe ads out there, but the one that caught my attention today was an ad where a woman was sitting on laying on a couch, and she was looking at her phone. She was looking at like a text conversation, and she just gets a text from one of the guys that she's about to go on a date with, I'm assuming, that says, "See you soon." And you have like this sappy, corny fucking music in the background. And it's an ad for Tinder. Oh, man. The thing with all these ads, though, they have a recurring theme. For the most part, for majority of the ads that I have seen for different dating sites, it shows more of women engaging with their male matches than it does actually show men getting their matches and selecting from there. Another thing is, a lot of these sites, as I have learned over the years, excuse me, have bots. They will have bot accounts. So there will be people who will pose as someone else. There will be maybe employees of the company that make fake profiles. And they will like your profile, and that will get you to basically sign up for their subscription service, where you have to pay to view your likes and to message people, which is incredibly shitty when it comes right down to it, because nowadays with everything online, we've just made dating into a game where if you just don't like what you see, or if you don't like what you read, then you just automatically just dismiss this person and you never give them a chance. And then you just go for someone else who you think is a good match, but then, surprise, surprise, they lied on their profile. Honestly, my opinion about dating apps is they're good in moderation, but they shouldn't be a replacement for dating, And I feel like there could be more information that people can provide on their dating profiles that would actually guarantee that they would get matches with the appropriate people. But just overall, I hate using dating apps, and I don't use them anymore. Mr. Bo, can you settle down, please? Thank you. So it's just funny that I keep getting all these ads, and it's just the same recurring theme. It shows the women having the advantage where they have a bunch of male matches and they choose one they're going on a date with. Cool. But flip the script, there are a lot of guys out there who use these dating apps, and they rarely get matches, let alone dates, unless they're like in the top 10% when it comes to looks, like the top 5 or 10%. They'll usually get all the matches. Which, I get, because when it comes to dating, we have our physical preferences, and, to each their own, just because, say for example, I prefer, I prefer slimmer bodies. I prefer women who are not skinny, but more toned or athletic, muscular, even. Not too muscular, of course, because, whole performance-enhancing drugs thing, yeah, that's not something that I am ever going to partake in, nor do I really want my partner partaking in that. That's just, that's kind of a hard line for me. But anyway, that's my preference. And, doesn't mean I dismiss people who approach me who are, a little on the overweight side. That's fine. I'm more flexible, but, I will admit I'm not going to date someone who is, grossly overweight or morbidly obese, because that's just not my preference. That's not my, body type that I like to go for. Because my opinion is, if I take care of myself physically, or at least try to, at least above average, then I would expect the same from my partner. At the very least, if my partner is not, initially, that overweight, I would like them to join me in the gym. That way they can get in shape and they can get strong like myself, and, and live a long, healthy life. That's my preference. Now, doesn't mean, that I'm right or wrong. It just means that's what I like. Other guys have other preferences, So I get that, looks play an important part. I just feel like with dating apps, it is more tempting for people to be shallow and just only look at pictures and only consider the looks of a person and then just dismiss them entirely. Even if their profile is, a perfect match. So, and also there's the problem that you can lie about yourself on a dating app. But then again, that's the purpose of going out on these dates, is to find out if they're being truthful, That's if you're really going in the game being, astute, paying attention to what they're saying, making sure that everything that was on their profile kind of adds up to your experience. So, but yeah, and then I get ads for like Bumble, and I have a Bumble account. I only used it once, and honestly, I did not really like it. And majority of the matches that I got were either from, a couple of dudes. I'm straight, so no. If you're into dudes, cool. I have no problems with that. Transgender people, I'm sorry, that's just not my preference, but if you're transgender, hey, I don't have an issue with it. Or just people who don't fit, the body type completely and don't seem to show any interest in exercising. And that's kind of shitty to say, but, either way, I didn't bother to use it at all, so, and then the other ad that I've been getting is for Do It, which all of the ads for Do It are incredibly shitty because they're like 5 or 10 second ads that just show people swiping on profiles. Like, that's gonna hook me into your, your app. Or it shows a guy getting like a bunch of different matches with, a bunch of different women. Yeah, right. You can't tell if those are bots. Seriously, just a little bit of critical thinking right there, and you can just realize that in itself could just be a sham. So why would you bother signing up? Unless the actual app itself is free and you can look at matches for free and even message them, cool. But, yeah, it's just, dating nowadays is broken. I'm very apathetic. I'm not getting my hopes up or anything, but, right now I'm kind of just enjoying the little bit of freedom that I have, But, a lot of, I would say my hobbies are a little more niche because not a lot of people go to the gym and want to do weightlifting or even powerlifting for that matter. And, not a lot of people collect Legos, at least right now, because of the price of Legos, but, they're a chunk. But I'm a big Lego fanatic, so. And not a lot of people do art or draw. Well, let me amend that statement. There are people who draw, I just don't feel like there's enough out there, in my opinion. Because most people I encounter, they don't draw, or they look at my artwork and they're like, oh, you're so much better, so why would I bother, drawing with you? You would just beat me. Like, we draw just to draw, And I taught myself, and it took me, it took me a while to get things down, but, I eventually did it. God damn, I may have ADHD. I keep going off topic. But anyway, dating nowadays is just broken. People are so disconnected. They're connected online, but they're not connected in reality. And, there are guys out there who take their shot, and a lot of them are just viewed as creeps because they're just trying to be polite. They're trying to be, more formal with their approach. I've seen videos of that happening, and it's like, can you really blame us for just staying away or just sitting off to the sidelines? And honestly, it's tiring, in my opinion, for guys to try to approach women. Why can't it go the other way around? If you really look at someone and they catch your interest, not only physically, but you're listening to what they're saying, and they seem like an interesting person, and then why wouldn't you go to them? Maybe I'm not observing you, but you're observing me. Why not come to me? I could say the same thing, but I am pretty shy. I'm also aware of the fact that there are some women out there who will just label you as a creep if you try to approach and just have friendly conversation. I've seen that happen before. It doesn't mean it's going to happen to me. It just means I anticipate that, so I just kind of avoid being the one to approach, because I also just don't want to look, awkward or shy. That I don't know why, but anyway. But yeah, that was kind of funny, seeing that ad. Just, Jesus. We really are starting to live in the, dystopian hell that those futuristic sci-fi films show us. It's like, goddamn. Each passing day, I keep thinking that we're just in the fucking Matrix, because this shit can't be fucking real. Anyway, that's it for now, and I will talk to you guys later.